Hello and welcome to Driving with Todd, and I'm Todd. Summer of 1968, my parents, my brother Rob, and I piled into the car with our tent trailer attached to the back, and my dad drove us up to St. Paul, Minnesota to see my mom's brother, Uncle Dennis, and his wife, Aunt Dolores, and their 5 kids. We'd get up there, they'd unhook the trailer, and they pop the tent open uh, on the trailer, and we would sleep there and then have the meals in my aunt and uncle's house. Well, every night at 10 o'clock, we would listen to the radio. My brother, myself, and my 5 cousins would sit around the radio and listen to a song, and it was played every night at 10 p.m. I couldn't remember what radio station it was. I couldn't remember if it was AM, FM, so I wrote my brother. Now, my brother was a DJ nearly his whole career. So he knows radio inside and out. I mean, that's his whole life. He just loves radio. He should write the encyclopedia radio, I think. So he wrote me back and he says the radio station was KDWB and its number was 630 on the AM dial. Rob Sherwood was the 6 to 12 midnight jock on the station. He would take a smoke break at 10 p.m. and play the 18-minute version. Sometimes he didn't get back to the studio before the end of the record, and listeners heard a few minutes of dead air. KDWB was a 24-hour AM station. Okay, so it was KDWB out of, I'm guessing, Minneapolis, but it could have been St. Paul. Either or, it played an 18-minute song at 10 o'clock. So what was that 18-minute song? It was In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida by Iron Butterfly. And we would listen to that every night, the whole 17-minute and 2-second version of that song. And we never got sick of it. It was just so fun to do that. And it's a great song. And the thing about that particular song is a lot of groups were influenced by that song. A lot of the hard rock, heavy metal groups from the late 60s into the 70s were influenced by In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. Now, the other thing about In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, the other influence it did was more and more groups started to do these long jams. For instance, Do What You Like on the Blind Faith album is a long jam that almost emulates In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. You've got Crossroads, or not Crossroads, but Spoonful by The Cream on the Wheels of Fire album. You got Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix Experience on the Electric Ladyland album. And then later on, you've got groups like The Grateful Dead. You've got Allman Brothers Band, and so on, that did these long jams. So they were kind of an influencer to take a whole side of a record and do one song. And it's a great song. So I thought it'd be fun to listen to In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida by Iron Butterfly, realizing it's 17 minutes and 2 seconds long, but this video looks pretty cool. I have not watched this whole video. I just started watching a little bit of it, but it's the group, it's black and white, and they're doing the song. It looks cool and sounds awesome. So here we go with Iron Butterfly doing In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida.
In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, honey, don't you know that I'm loving you? In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, baby, don't you know that I'll always be true? Oh, won't you come with me and take my hand? Oh, won't you come with me and walk this line? Please take my hand.
Okay, stop for 2 seconds there. Great song so far. That bass is just so cool. I mean, Lee Dorman's the bass player, and it is just an awesome. It's just driving the song. But Ron Engel's voice. The thing about this song, the first time I heard it, I went, "Boy, that's a strange voice." I mean, he's got really very little limited range in his voice, and I kind of like cringed a little bit when I first heard his vocals. But the more you hear Doug Engel on any of the Iron Butterfly songs, it is just great. I mean, it's just the way he sings, and it's an Iron Butterfly. I mean, you can tell it's Iron Butterfly right away just by his vocals. He's got a very unique voice. So let's keep on going on this thing. This is just such a great song. Here we go.
Oh, won't you come with me and I'll walk this line? Please take my hand. Let me tell you, In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, honey. Don't you know that I'm loving you? In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, baby. Don't you know that I'll always be true? Oh, won't you come with me and take my hand? Oh, won't you come with me and walk this line? Please take my hand. It's all right. All right, now, come.
Okay, so that was Doug Engel. He not only is the vocalist for Iron Butterfly, but he's also the keyboard player, and he did his solo. So this is the first solo of many solos in the song, which was the thing that kind of other groups started to emulate in long jams like this, where each player got to take some time and play a solo. So that was Doug Engel playing his keyboard solo, which is kind of fun. Let's go back just a teensy bit and pick this up again.
When you're king of the monsters, you have to conquer all. At Big Bad Toy Store, you can find the latest and greatest.
Okay, now that was Eric Braun. He's the guitar player, and I love this guitar solo. I love how they come out of the organ solo. There's the standard, bass and drum beat that they have going here. I mean, that rhythm is just going through that song, and it just keeps on repeating itself. It's such a great rhythm. And then he comes in with the wah wah pedal at first. He's playing wah wah pedal, and then we get the stupid Big Bad Toy commercial. Sorry about that. And then he switches from the wah wah pedal into, I believe, fuzz tone. I think he turned his fuzz tone on, and then he finishes up his guitar solo. But a great guitar solo. I was reading a little bit on comments for this video, and there's a lot of guitar players on the comments that said in '68, they bought their first guitar and they learned how to play their guitar from Eric Braun's guitar solo in In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So now let's keep on going with the song. I just love this thing. This is just so hot. Such a great song. Okay, that was the drum solo. That was Ron Bushy playing drums, and that's like one of the most famous drum solos in rock and roll. It's just a great drum solo. I mean, there's Toad by Ginger Baker when he was with Cream. That's fairly famous, but this kind of blows doors off of just about any other drum solo. And the way he starts out hitting all the tom-toms and stuff, and then he just speeds up and he brings the hi-hat in. I mean, it's just a kind of a cool drum solo. And what I read also about this is when they did this live, Ron Bushy would almost reproduce exactly what was on the record. So he had that down pat on which drums to hit when and how to keep that rhythm. Just a great drum solo. But that beginning is so cool, the way he's going around and hitting the different tom-toms. It's just classic. It's a classic drum solo. So let's continue. Let's go back just a teensy bit and let's continue the song.
In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, baby. Don't you know that always been true? Oh, won't you come with me and take my hand? Oh, won't you come with me and walk this land? Please take my hand.
Okay. Wow. Wow, that's such a great song. I just love that song. And what's weird, the name In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, I always wonder, what does In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida mean? Well, I kind of read some information on it, and they said that Doug Ingalls wrote this. He had been drinking, and then he kind of fell asleep and woke up, and I think it was Ron Bushy started to take some of the lyrics down that Ingalls said this is what he wants the lyrics to be. And because he was kind of in this drunken stupor, he said in the Garden of Eden, and I think, like I said, I think it was Ron Bush. He was taking the notes down, and he thought he said In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. Well, it wasn't what they wanted it to be, but it sounded cool, so they kept the name. But it's a great song. It's I guess it's about Adam and Eve. That's kind of what the song is supposed to be about Adam and Eve and how love started. So it's just a great song. I didn't have the album. I didn't buy the album until like into the 70s, but I did have the single, and the single is about a 3-minute edit of this 17-minute version, and I loved it. Like I said, at first it was kind of weird. His Doug Ingalls' vocals were a little strange to me, but the more I listened to the song, the more I liked it. And then that kind of butterfly guitar effect that Eric Brown was doing, they did another song. I think it was called Iron Butterfly Theme, I think it was, and I believe it was the B-side of In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida single, and they used that kind of chirping guitar sound a lot in that particular, and it was an instrumental. I remember that was kind of cool. So this was In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. It's like I said, we go up to St. Paul, and then at 10 o'clock at night, this DJ would be playing this thing for 18 minutes when he went out and had a smoke. Just really cool, and we listened to it every night, and he did that, I guess, forever. So it wasn't something new. It was something that he always did, and people actually waited for 10 o'clock to hear In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. So great song. Just love how they put this together. The only thing is that Lee Dorman, the bass player, didn't really get a bass solo, but his bass was driving through this whole song. I mean, if you listen, boy, he was just like really playing that bass guitar, and it kept this rhythm going, and it was the same thing, do 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 do, and then Ron Bush would be following through with the drums. So the rhythm section in this song is just dynamite. So that's Iron Butterfly, the full version of In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. If you like that, hit that like button. That'd be cool. If you have any comments about Iron Butterfly, the song In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, or the album In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, put in the comments below. That'd be really cool. I'd really appreciate that. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel. You won't be sorry. Just do it, and I'd appreciate it. Thank you. And then go over there, ring the bell for updates to my latest videos. So I hope you enjoyed this. I know this is a little bit longer video than what I normally do, but I just had this in my mind today, and I wanted to do it, and I thought it was fun. So I hope it put a smile on your face. It put a smile on my face and brought back lots of memories. And peace out, baby.